Yes, it is possible. We can stop negative thoughts with 3 simple steps. And the more we practice, the easier it gets. Hey friends, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Fern, an engineer who fell in love with helping busy people manage stress and find happiness. In today's video, we will start by exploring what science says about thoughts, and then dive into the 3 steps to stop negative thinking. First, noticing your thoughts. Second, assessing what is within your control. And third, replacing negative thoughts. Then we'll finish with a little homework to help you put it all in practice. So let's get started. The National Science Foundation reports that on average, we think about 60,000 thoughts per day. Of these, 95% are repetitive, meaning that we think the same thoughts as the day before. What's even more interesting though, is the study suggests that 75% of our thoughts are negative. While these numbers can vary between studies, it is important for you to know you're not alone. Negative thinking is common. And this happens because we use negativity as a defense mechanism. It can be beneficial as it alerts us to potential dangers and helps us avoid making the same mistakes, keeping us safe. However, negative thoughts may be more harmful than helpful. Researchers from King's College in London found a correlation between repetitive negative thinking and an increased risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Prolonged negative thinking can impact our brain's ability to reason, think, and form memories. And negativity breeds more negativity. These thoughts can trigger feelings, which lead to more thoughts about those feelings, creating a vicious cycle, which can become an addiction we may not even realize. And this prevents us from putting our best foot forward, stopping us from fully investing our time and hopes. And sometimes it feels like we have a million thoughts at once, right? Well, researchers at the University of Oregon found that the human brain can only entertain about 4 discrete thoughts at a time. We can recall about 4 short sentences at once, which is our working memory. However, we cannot process more than 1 decision-making thought at a time. Of course, we can still multitask, like chewing gum while driving and talking. But when it comes to decision-making, our brain actually stops one task to focus on another. But it happens so quickly that it feels like we're doing both at once. But we are not. It is simply not possible to really think about 2 things at once. I know it is hard to notice the thoughts because, again, they happen so quickly, which brings us to the first step to stop negative thinking, which is noticing your thoughts. With 75% of our thoughts being negative and 95% being repetitive, it can be challenging to break free from negative thinking. But the secret here is self-awareness, which is crucial, because we will become more present and mindful. And we improve self-awareness by practicing mindfulness and meditation, which is well supported by research. You can practice mindfulness by simply focusing on your breath and on the things around you. Or try meditation, even if it's for 3 minutes a day. If you're new to meditation, I recommend watching this video next, where I explain how to meditate. I'll leave the link in the description below. And once you develop enough awareness to notice your thoughts, you have the power to reframe them into more constructive ones. So let's look at a practical example. If your neighbor is doing beautiful renovations on their home, some negative thoughts may arise, leading to negative feelings. For example, negative thoughts of jealousy, like, why can't I afford to do that? My house will never look as nice as this. So, acknowledge the thought, observe it, and simply recognize it as a thought. Then, reframe it to inspiration, like, oh, it's great to see what's possible. Maybe I can take inspiration from their renovations and plan some small improvements over time. And this brings us to the second step to stop negative thoughts, which is assessing what is within your circle of control. The circle of control is a concept in psychology that refers to the things within our control. Simply analyze your thoughts and decide if you have control over the things that you're worrying about. In the first circle are the things within your control, such as your thoughts, your words, actions, decisions, mindset, and mood. In the second circle are the things that you can influence but not necessarily control, like relationships, other people's opinions, and their choices. And in the third circle are the things out of your control, such as the weather, economics, politics, traffic, and violence. This exercise is important because some negative thoughts are warnings about problems to be solved, while others are just noise creating stress for no reason. So let's apply this to the example of the neighbor's renovations. The things that are within our control are our self-talk and actions. We can choose to focus on gratitude and positive thoughts, as we discussed in the step 1. And we can also control how clean and organized our home is, which goes a long way and doesn't require a big budget. We can influence our financial planning for future renovations if that's our goal, and our relationship with the neighbor by learning from them or seeking advice. And things out of our control are our neighbor's finances and other people's opinions about our home. So we should let go of those thoughts. By focusing on what we can control, we can be proactive, take action, and make positive changes in our lives, rather than worrying about things we can't change. The most important thing to remember is that we can't actually stop a thought. We can only replace it. This is a scientific fact. If I tell you to not think about a pink elephant, you will likely think about a pink elephant. So if you're telling yourself to stop thinking about your neighbor's finances, you're still thinking about your neighbor's finances, which is something out of your control. Like we discussed earlier, you can reframe this negative thought with a more positive one, or you can simply replace the thought with something enjoyable, like your weekend plans or a delicious meal that you're cooking tonight. Because if you keep giving attention to the negative thought, it will keep coming back. But if you replace it with something else, you will literally forget about it. You will let it go. So that's the secret. So let's put it in practice. Your homework is to notice any self-destructive thoughts. For example, if you think, I'm not good enough, apply the 3 steps we discussed. First, notice the thought. Become aware of the negative thought without judgment. Simply observe it. At this point, it's important to not judge or criticize yourself for having the thought. Second, assess your circle of control and focus on what you can control, like the effort that you put on improving yourself and your skills, your self-talk and your mindset by focusing on the progress you have made and the actions that you take to continue grow, whether that's learning or practicing or seeking guidance. And the third and final step, replace the negative thought. If you're still thinking about the things that you can't control, replace it with something else. For instance, if you're worried about people's opinions of you or your past mistakes, simply replace these thoughts because you can't do anything about them. Think about something you're grateful for and don't give attention to that thought anymore, and eventually you will actually forget about it. Changing how we think about ourselves can have a profound impact in our mood, confidence, and overall well-being. These steps are simple but not always easy, but with practice they will become easier. And remember, everyone has negative thoughts. Perfection does not exist. Even monks and the most positive people in the world still experience negative thoughts because it is a safety mechanism, but they use tools to be aware of them without being consumed by them. And remember, even if it feels like you have a million thoughts at once, you only have one thought at a time. So you only have to deal with one thought. If you have thoughts of harming yourself or others, or if you are experiencing racing thoughts and feeling out of control, please seek medical advice. Help is available and it can be life-changing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone that you care about. And I think you enjoy watching this video next. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.